Good evening, this is Kuro. Got another competitive DD lessons video. Going over the matchmaking. This is another North American Hurricane team. They are running Montana, Des Moines, Double Henry, Zhao, Stalingrad, and a Gearing. Cuter is running Montana, Des Moines, Worcester, Double Salem, Moskva, and my Shimakaze. The map is Mountain Range. We spawn in the north. And we're going to give you the rundown on this game. And right now you already see some of the early calls coming in. My marching orders were simple this game. They said go spot mid. So that's where I'm going to head. And this game's, the lesson in this game is going to be situational awareness because uh, there's moves that I make as a result of being aware of what's going on around me. And there are moves that the enemy team makes that really had the ability to punish me if it wasn't for the current game mechanics. Ignore that. We have people that can't drive in my clan and they're plowing into each other and spawn. Typical cuter. These guys can shoot the wings off flies at 30 kilometers, but they can't drive their way out of spawn without frickin' needing to call an insurance adjuster. So, here I am spotting mid. Now, when I am pushing out, the number one thing I'm looking to do is I'm trying to identify where is the enemy destroyer. Now, this game is pretty interesting because I'll give the surprise away. I'm not tracking a destroyer here. I'm tracking a Zhao. And what's throwing me is RPF is roughly where I think, where I expect a destroyer to be. And I'm RPF located, and it's a destroyer that I believe most reasonable destroyer players will run RPF on a gearing. I spot the Montana up here. I know this isn't the greatest torpedo shot in the world, but it's early in the game, under even 2 minutes, and I'm getting torpedoes off on the battleship. It's a take what I can kind of proposition. I lay a set of torpedoes out there, actually expecting this guy is going to back up a bit, and we'll see how it goes. Now, it's a gearing. The potential is this could be torpedo reload. Right here is a critical spot. I spot the Stalingrad. Okay, he's not tight to an island. He's sitting way back. If you look, his radar is like he's covering this island basically with his radar. He's not trying to cover the entire cap. So I'm getting some ideas about him. You see that I'm instantly dropping my speed. I'm trying to give my team, if they've got shots on him, give them as long as possible to be able to hit this guy. And see my speed dropping. I pick the Montana up again. I lose the Stalingrad, and I'm just gonna kite back. There's the potential for gearing torps is high right now, at least in my head. So I'm just playing torpedo safe. The other thing that I did when I made this move, where a destroyer player sees RPF go from like the middle of the map hard towards a cap, it creates the illusion and the belief, and good destroyer players are going to be telling their team, get ready, their destroyer's about to step on cap. That can make them move ships that they might not otherwise want to move, preparing to defend C-cap. So this whole thing, yes, it was a torpedo run on the Montana, but two, it's a juke that might be able to get ships to move around and, maybe do something that they don't want to do at this point. Maybe they want this Stalin back here to see if there's a ship here that he can get a shot into. And, being forced to move up to cover the entire cap with radar, he might not be able to get that shot. Things like that. Um, so just pointing that out. I know my torps are garbage because RNG things. I don't understand with a weapon system that I believe the server average is 6%, why we need to have RNG in the spread, but go figure. I'm just going to cut that off because a, a really nice pick is coming up right now. Okay, I've spotted the Stalingrad again, and I'm just, out here, doing some spotting. Everything's hunky-dory. And then... boop. Right there. Competitive destroyer players, when you see something like that, it's your mind instantly goes to ambush. When a Zao pops up, you expect to get hit. Um, and really good Zao players are a frickin' artist at just absolutely shredding destroyer players in this pick. And that's what this is. This is an ambush or a pick or whatever you want to call it. And what's going on? This is basically the old, Yu Yang game where they would use the Yu Yang to scout just in front of the Zao. So as soon as the Zao gets spotted, the Yu Yang would be able to pop radar and instantly detect that destroyer, and there typically would be 2 or 3 Zaos that would just about one-shot that destroyer, and he would be gone in seconds. That's what was it? I think first or second season of clan battles look like in Hurricane. You had a lot of really Zao heavy teams. Um, I know already that I'm in trouble. Just because this Zao popped up, this Zao is screaming to his Stalingrad player, I'm detected, pop radar. So, I'm going to slow this down because Wargaming has screwed this up. Watch my indicator. Yes, we're going in slow motion, but I want you to see this. Okay, I am detected. This Zao should already have shots into me. And if he did, look at my ship. I would be absolutely nuked. I would lose half or more of my HP doing this move. And I only do this move because of the way the radar mechanic has changed. And that's that 6-second period where their team can't shoot at me. The Stalin can't shoot at me because he's behind an island. Only now does the Zao get the shots off. But I've already completed the turn. I'm starting to angle away. And a little bit of juking here. And I'm able to make these shells whiff. Now, I'm gonna pause it right there because that right there is garbage. This is specifically what I meant by you cannot make these changes to radar, because very good destroyer players, I should have been nuked doing that move, and I never would have even attempted that move. I would have just bow-oned right into the Zao and just, took what damage he could dish out for the duration of the radar. But because I've got a 6-second delay, and because the time it takes that Zao player to say I'm detected radar, and for the Stalin to radar me, that creates a big enough gap that is all I need to do is I've spotted the tripwire, I've spotted the detonator on the bomb that's about to blow me up. I'm just gonna go run off, and that's exactly what I do. I just turn around, and I feel that this is incredibly unfair to cruiser players, because how do you deal with somebody like this that's you don't have a fair shake? So we're just gonna go ahead and play this one out. I'm just gonna complete my turn. I know that the Zao's got one more shot coming up, But at this point, I'm already angled away. He's not going to be able to do nearly as much damage as he would have on the first shot. And I just, you know, juke him, and I slip off. Now, the sad thing is, this is Hurricane. That Zhao traded a third of his HP. Now, granted, he's going to be able to repair back about half of that. I didn't even get a scratch. I'm the one that screwed up. Why did this guy get punished? And that's a fundamental issue I have with this game right now. In a lot of ways, it's too easy being a destroyer player. Once you hit that skill level where you know how to work around radars, it's it's very broken. I'll just put it that way. The issue is the destroyer players that don't understand how to work around radar. Those guys get absolutely nuked by it, and there's more of them than there are of, you know, guys that look at radar now and they're just like, yeah, it's barely a nuisance at this point. And you know, it's something that it's just not fair right now, in my opinion. Now, getting back to, you know, moves and counter moves, I know the Stalingrad radar is down. I know that at this point there's no destroyer here because my team announced that the gearing had smoked up the Des Moines over here at B-cap. So I'm just going to push right into the cap. Now, I'm going to make an audible call for my team right here, and that is, I know there's no radar. I see an opportunity. That Zhao was relatively low HP. My Montana had announced that he hit him for 18,000. I'm going to push up here around this island. I'm telling him right now, hey, I'm just going to push around this island and try to spot that Zhao again. And my Des Moines player back there says, hey, can you pop smoke? You know, we've got that Montana pushing up. You know, maybe we can hit him, you know, as well. So I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Now, I do make a mistake here. I'm laying this smoke just like a smoke curtain, trying to do the utmost to keep my Des Moines from being, you know, detected by this Montana. I should have just laid it directly into this island and be able to get spotting done, you know, the same time. Because out here, I'm going to lose this Montana briefly. Now, basically, my entire team, I'm going to pause it right here. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what my team's doing. My team's scrambling just like they're kind of, you know, having a what the hell moment right now. And they're scrambling because we just lost our Moskva here. They've got a big enemy push here. You can see the Des Moines spotted, so that's telling me that the gearing smoke is down. And their double Henrys are, you know, starting to push in along the 1 and 2 line. The issue is we've only got 2 ships holding back 4 ships. You got to count the destroyer over there too. Our Montana is booking it. He was up around the 8 line. He's running over to support ACAP and try to shore that up. But it comes down to the play is over here on C to try to pull some heat off of our team. You know, they've got a low health Zhao over here. We need to do something to make to be able to pull pressure off these guys. So I'm going to pop speed boost. I know that Stalingrad radar is going to be coming up in a little bit. I'll be honest, it actually surprised me. This guy is running Jack of all trades and the flag, and I was expecting this radar to be 5 seconds later. My team's saying, there's the Zhao. Can you spot him? Can you spot him? No. I'm radar detected. I've got torps. Nope. I'm not even going to play. And this is something that when you can make a play for your team, you do it. But I felt I was not in a position, and this is a mistake here. My DCP runs down. Potentially, I could have taken a fire or even multiple fires with that volley. Uh, Always wait, that additional split second, unless you're able to, unless you're using your DCP to avoid catastrophic damage. You're trying to dodge torps and your rudder's out, or you've got a broken engine and you see a torpedo coming right for you. Those situations where if I don't do this, I'm pretty much done. That's the time where even risking additional follow-up fires and things like that, you use your damage control. That's the only exception to that rule, and I was about a second too early on that, and that's something that I want to point out to drive that point home. When you press R, matters. Now, again, we're in a repeat situation, and I've got a move in my head that I'm hatching right now, and that move is, again, nothing can spot me. This Gearing and Des Moines, they're still working together out here, and my team's in a holding position. Um, the issue is with this Stalingrad, every time he radars, he's given their Montana the ability to potentially drop shots on any of our cruisers that he overmatches from most angles. Uh, this isn't it isn't an ideal situation. Now, it's a good situation from, we got my cruisers from up in here, down here, where you're not just waltzing into the cap. You're going to have to kill these guys to root them out. So this is putting a lot of pressure on the enemy. You look how far their Zau's pushed out at this point. I'm out here. I'm pushing out to try to spot the Zau, spot the Montana, and the Stalingrad. I'm looking to line up a torp run on, and how I'm looking to do that is I'm looking to get all the way out here where he can't use any of this island in front of him. So I'm just being patient. Now I'm going to launch one set of torps, or two sets of torps this way. I'm going to wait a split second and launch a set of torps from further back over here. They kind of cross that. See, too quick, and I'm not going to change the speed so you get a feel for it. And that split second, I'm traveling 44.1 knots, and you can see the separation, the kind of different angles that you're getting with those torps. So I'm gonna speed it. Nope, that's too fast. But that gives you a feel for how those torpedoes came out. That last set of torps was designed to basically cross over the first two, and in effect cross torp this Stalingrad. So what's going to happen, the first two sets of torps, he's going to eat, he just straight up eats two. There's the cross torp, the 3 and the 4. And I know right off the bat, almost 62k, that Stalin is crippled. Now he's really exposed. He's got a destroyer that's keeping him, hung out to dry. He's spotted. My Salem's pulled back, but he's going to be coming back. My Montana is going to have shots on him. This Stalin is now in a very vulnerable position, and he's going to be hurting here shortly. Now I want to talk about my additional move. The efficiency of what just happened to the enemy team. Think about it from their point of view. All of a sudden, they get a report from their Stalingrad. I just ate 4 torps, and I'm in a lot of trouble, guys. I need a lot of help. They just lost their Zau, and just within a couple seconds of their Stalingrad's report, they're saying, "Hey guys, somebody is on B-cap. What the hell? The Shima just blasted our Stalingrad. Why is who's on B? Now they got to try to think, who's who's where, and they just got to figure that, well, it's the Shima. He just dumped torps and ran right into B-cap. And this was another audible that I just did. I saw the opening and I went on ahead and I took it, and it was just a calculated risk to try to pull pressure off my western flank because we have my Wooster's down to 995 HP at this point. Now I think he's gotten away at this point, and my Montana is healthy and is going to be able to, you know, try to defend ACAP. Now, the effect that this move has is, okay, this guy can't come and deal with BCAP. This guy, he's too slow. He can't come and deal with BCAP. So they've got to pull from the west, which is where the pressure is on my team. They have to pull ships back to try to deal with me. And what they're going to do, they're going to end up pulling a Des Moines back. And that Des Moines is, you think about it this way. You see the Des Moines shots, the Des Moines smoked up right now. But smoke ran out, the Des Moines up. I'm expecting to get radared, but it's under 6 seconds, so this Stalin can't reset me. So I know I've got the cap. Now, the Des Moines has issues here. Does he try to run the gap and take the shots at me? If he does, he's going to get spotted and my Montana might have shots on him. Or does he try to play it safe and run to B? And he takes the smart choice. He's running to B cap. My Montana is already working on the Stalingrad. My Salem's pushing up to keep this Stalingrad from being able to reverse behind the islands. And I'm just, running forward into these guys. You see my radar quickly blip, and that is me outrunning the Des Moines radar, and I'm into the Stalingrad radar. So I'm taking the risk. I was going to shoot. We saw the gearing pop up. There's no point in me shooting. I do have smoke, but, why not? I just throw some torps out there just in case. But my Salem finishes them off. And at this point, take a look at things. The Des Moines had to kite back to B cap to cap it, because we're at 915 points to their 515. The gearing has to respect the Worcester radar. He ends up needing to fall back. My Montana's already in A. We're already flipping A cap, and in effect, the enemy team didn't know where I was at. It looks like their Henry was kiting south to see if he could cut me off down here. But the issue was, I didn't drive into the cap and go south. I came back up here, and my intent was to kite back to safety to my team. And it's that sort of, ability to flex around the map like that creates so much confusion for, the enemy team. This one little move, whoop, I just wrecked the Stalin. Oh, I'm up in your cap, and then I'm out just that fast. Just left them, at least to me, it appears in disarray. And KSD is an amazing plan. We've these guys have kicked our butt a ton of times. This game we just happen to, be, either in better positions or just things went our way. This game could have went completely different if that Zal would have been able to hit me, if the radar mechanics were the old way. And I personally believe that he should have. And I do think that wargaming does need to change that. But getting back to the game, I'm just gonna kite away. I know that gearing's there. There's no sense in me risking my ship. 924 points. Guys are playing pretty safe. If you look, our Des Moines is using radar right here, and that's what's providing the vision on the Montana, and both of them are just shooting over the islands. I'm going to slow it down because this game's winding down rapidly. We're able to claw back A cap, they take B cap, but that still leaves us with a 2 cap advantage. Uh, you know, these guys look like they're exposed. This is just our Des Moines radar spotting the Montana, who's in a full-on desperation push to try to get in any sort of kill or anything that he can do to try to get the some points off the board for his team. And it's just not going to happen. The points are running up too quick. And you can see at this time the enemy team's starting to regroup to push. Um, but now what are you going to do? You're going to push 2 cruisers into a battleship and a Worcester? That's rough. And our Worcester has been able to heal back to almost 7k. And I believe he's actually using this little tiny spit of an island next to him to stealth shoot over it. But this is the game. This game was won on situational awareness, understanding what was in front of me, and seeing windows of opportunity to use my ship's ability to move around the cap or around the map faster than pretty much anything else on the map, and that was able to leave the enemy team in disarray and helped us win this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Again, some more complex um, ideas, and that's what I want to try to do with this sort of video series, rather than focus on the basics. Really break it down and discuss the more advanced stuff that you need to know to play destroyers at this sort of level. Go back into my view. So if you have questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know your opinion about radar. A lot of destroyer players will tell me that I'm dead wrong about it, and that it shouldn't be an instant free for all just because somebody popped radar. I'd love to have the conversation. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good night. I'm gonna let this one play out. You guys have a good night, and I will talk to you later.